Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss the good and bad impacts of horror movies on mental health. So before the video start, like this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more updates. In America, October signals the beginning of the Halloween season. This translates to pumpkin spice, flavored everything, imaginative costumes dripping with pop culture illusions and fake blood, and of course, horror films rife with spine, chilling tension and gore. However, it's crucial to consider our mental health as well when looking for a good scare on our screens. The tension and excitement of films like Get Out, The Shining, The Invisible Man, and Jennifer's Body are fantastic, but occasionally the terror becomes a little too real. Knowing your boundaries and how to watch healthily pays off because taking care of our mental health is crucial. Psychological consequences. Psychological ploys are used in horror films to feign suspense and danger by manipulating the story, sound, and visuals. Your body concurrently registers the threats as real even though your brain is aware that they are not genuine. The Anxiety and Stress Disorders Institute of Maryland's executive director, Sally Winston, a licensed psychologist, explains that, when watching horror films, your heart pumps, adrenaline flows, and your attention narrows in, even though you know you are at home or in the theater and there is no real danger. This is like going on a ride at an amusement park when you can simultaneously feel afraid and confident in your safety. In general, according to Winston, there is no damage in observing for those who can recognize the illusion for what it is. She uses the terms diffusion or disentanglement to express the capacity to experience something while also being able to watch it. It's a necessity for appreciating scary films, she claims. Having stated that, there are several considerations. Horror movies are made to evoke specific feelings like stress, dread, and shock. These may trigger the production of chemicals from the autonomic nervous system, including norepinephrine, cortisol, and adrenaline. These hormones may cause physiological effects like dilated pupils, accelerated heartbeat, and tense muscles. Influence on sleep. Although the movie's overall experience benefits from the adrenaline, the higher moods can make it difficult to fall asleep. Even the post-horror high experience is energizing rather than soothing. Horror and suspense movies can therefore make it difficult to fall asleep, even for individuals who appreciate the emotional roller coaster, according to Dr. Pamela Rutledge, head of the Media Psychology Research Center. Sleeping well is crucial for maintaining both physical and mental health. Mental health studies. Sleep deprivation or inadequate sleep can hurt how the brain processes emotions the next day and can amplify unfavorable emotions. Additionally, connected to mental health problems is poor sleep. 90% of patients with depression are thought to have poor sleep quality. Trusted source: poor sleep may raise the risk of suicide in older persons. Additionally, according to research trusted source, going 3 or more nights in a row without sleep can cause hallucinations, delusions, and distortions of perception. According to Rutledge, for sensitive folks, internalizing the imagery into dreams can also disrupt sleep. This implies that the gore on the screen has the potential to create nightmares, which are known to disrupt REM, deep sleep, and result in interrupted or poor quality sleep. It might be worthwhile to change your viewing habits if horror films are keeping you up at night. Anxiety. Horror movies are more likely to harm anxious people. Chronic worry enhances the sensitivity to startle, eliciting cues, thereby making people who are already worried and nervous more likely to behave negatively, argues Rutledge. Sensitivity to anxiety. Trusted source is the fear of the physical symptoms of anxiety and the perception of these symptoms as actual dangers. The fear of terror, according to Winston, is described as an aversion to and fear of the body's aroused reaction through sensations and feelings. Horror movie watching is more likely to have a bad effect on anxiously sensitive people. It is possible for the propensity to fear disturbing ideas and pictures to be activated, which would heighten anxiety or panic. According to Winston, anxiously sensitive people often have a strong want to avoid situations like watching horror films because they could trigger negative thoughts and sensations. The advantages of scary movies. Horror movies, despite their blood and guts, can sometimes have a good impact on the audience. According to Rutledge, horror movie audiences typically appreciate them for a variety of reasons. Therefore, for most viewers, it has a positive influence. as the audience endures the terror and gets to enjoy the resolution. Watching horror movies can also be a chance to face one's fears. This may be especially true for viewers who may be suffering from specific mental illnesses. Horror movies can provide beneficial opportunities to face one's concerns and acquire the confidence that you can withstand unpleasant distress, and that it's not dangerous to you, says Winston. This is especially true for people who are receiving treatment for an anxiety disorder or OCD. However, it's crucial to discuss if this might be effective for you specifically with your physician or a qualified psychologist. Advice for wholesome viewing. Additionally, there are techniques for minimizing the impact of a terrifying movie without sacrificing the excitement. Find a subgenre that appeals to you. Finding the subgenre that best suits your tastes and the degree you can tolerate when watching horror movies is a crucial piece of advice. Know your taste and tolerance, as Rutledge advises. For instance, not everyone will like gore or mind tricks. Try something more spooky, like Paranormal Activity or The Conjuring, if you're more likely to be troubled by bloodshed for a while after watching. Alternatively, if psychological thrillers like Black Swan, The Boy Next Door, or Look Away are more likely to keep you up at night than ghost stories, choose those instead. Establish limits for yourself. When watching scary movies, your comfort should always come first. Whether it's due to a moral principle against violence or a psychological need to avoid unpleasant pictures and sensations, Winston maintains that there is no damage in avoiding horror films. Rutledge concurs with the idea of prioritizing your requirements. When negotiating shared programming, be ready to establish limits and stand up for yourself. Don't put yourself through suffering just so that others might watch something that might be uncomfortable to you, she advises. It's critical to consider your feelings right now and how the content on the screen will affect you, especially if you have a propensity for fear or worry. According to Rutledge, if you're finding yourself irritable and worried, choose a movie that transports you to a different planet rather than a frightening movie. Always keep in mind that you can always leave the room and read a soothing book in its place. There is a struggle in every story, but you should choose the level that feels right to you at the time. Be wary of binging. Additionally, it's crucial to keep an eye on how much of what's on the screen you're taking in. Even if it could be alluring, there are risks involved in watching horror films non-stop for the entire month. The Department of Health and Recreation at the University of Toledo discovered in 2017 that binge watching TV or movies, even ones that aren't scary, might exacerbate anxiety symptoms and interfere with sleep. The study also discovered that those who watched more TV each night, more than 2 hours, had higher symptoms of depression than those who watched less. Go on a break. You can always close your eyes or leave the theater for a brief toilet break if certain scenes in a movie are upsetting you. It's perfectly acceptable to walk away from sight if it's giving you an unpleasant chill down your spine. Maintain the lights on. Watch in the daylight or with the lights on. This may be especially beneficial if you have nyctophobia, a severe fear of the dark. Team up. Another piece of advice is to watch scary movies with friends since they might make you feel more grounded in reality. Finally, you always have the choice to cuddle, which can make you feel secure. According to Rutledge, watching horror movies in a group increases satisfaction since everyone feels more secure experiencing dread. The conclusion: it depends on the viewer's personal preferences and situation, just like with all other movie and television genres. Watch carefully, and keep an eye on how you're feeling. Check to see if your sleep is affected and how you feel the next day. Keep in mind that you can always quit viewing if you feel uncomfortable or don't like the way your body is reacting. While getting into the Halloween mood is enjoyable, caring for your mental health is much more crucial. Give your valuable feedback in comments section below and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.